And we represent, among other things, a younger generation of Americans who are going to learn the lessons of the Cold War, confront the lies of even some of our own countrymen who parrot Beijing propaganda. And we're going to have a better, brighter future for us and for the Chinese people. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Smith. 我就稍微简单的介绍一下他刚讲的内容，就是说，他就说这个今年呢是这个中国共产党这个夺取政权70周年，这个呢相比较呢比当年苏联垮台的苏联只存活了69年，而这个已经70周年，那么这意味着什么？那么其中呢他就谈到这个共产主义政权，就是包括就是说不久前他们在采访这个纽约著名的市长Bloomberg 的时候，问他他竟然说我不认为这是中国是一个独裁政权，然后又跑去问共和党的这个 Neil Bush 应该他说的他也不这么认为，所以他就觉得这个认知上这个问题是非常大的那么他就在谈到就是说这一些的这一系列问题，他就谈到他自己，他说我为什么我在做这些事情？他说当年冷战的时候呢，我们呢这个我们相信冷战的时候我们相信这个就是说我们有总统，包括 Kennedy 会跑到柏林去来说我是柏林人。他说我希望今天的美国总统也会说我是一个香港人，因为他讲了很多时间在讲香港作为一个重要的贸易和金融中心，那么对中国是非常重要的，香港又是自由的。那么他谈到是现在是在美国国会正在推行一个很重要的，你们大概也读到的，就是有关这个香港这个香港法案那么他就对此表示关心。他说当我为什么做这些事情？因为我年轻的时候我非常受到里根说推倒这个柏林墙这样的呼吁。我认识这些11件分子者，像魏金生这样的。那么我现在呢，在香港也看到了很多的年轻人，我非常希望在香港为香港争取这个自由，能够给香港就是能够保护香港，并且甚至给中国能带来民主自由。因为他已经在这个关注香港很多年了，从2014年10月，他甚至亲自还去了一次香港，大概就是这么一个意思很抱歉，我就这大概总结到此另外呢，下面一个呢，就是我们请Mr. Bob Suttinger, who's a retired U.S. government official, speak. 下面是苏廷格先生，他是一个退休的那个美国政府官员他要讲的历史是要讲关于这个中共这70年历史，请你们听吧。
Good afternoon. I'd like to thank Wei Jingsheng for inviting me to speak here today. I am a former U.S. government official, long retired, and now I find myself just a historian. So you should take what I say as the words of a historian, not a government official. Once upon a time, I used to do what are called estimates, which were a prediction of what's going to be happening in such and such a situation. Now I find myself looking at history and finding it much more difficult to predict what history is going to be. But I'm going to take it a little bit of a try at both today, so please bear with me. Later on today, in a few hours, Mr. Xi Jinping, President Xi Jinping, will lead a celebration of the 70th anniversary of the founding of the People's Republic of China. There will be a grand military parade. 70,000 doves will be released into the air. That'll be a mess. There will be a TV gala, and with lots of people being paid to look like they're happy. There will be a focus on the rejuvenation of the Chinese nation. We will see the powerful army and the great wealth that has been accumulated by the Communist Party of China, all the symbols of great power. Now, I have seen the news that Mr. Xi Jinping has already visited the Chairman Mao's memorial in Tiananmen Square. And I'm sure we will hear about how without Mao there would be no new China. He has reversed 150 years of disrespect and degradation. And the CCP, the Chinese Communist Party, has been the great leader of Chinese restoration to global influence and power. So with that as a 70-year introduction, you would think that the party would welcome a historical examination of that entire story, all 70 years. Well, no, they don't. Xi Jinping, of course, will focus on the period when he's been in charge, which has been about the last, not quite 10 years. But there probably won't be much attention paid to the role in the history of Hu Jintao, of Jiang Zemin. Certainly nothing will be said about Zhao Ziyang. There probably won't be much about Hu Yaobang or Hua Guofeng. Maybe there will be a little bit more about Deng Xiaoping, and maybe a little bit more about Mao Zedong, but even there it will be limited. Why? Because the Chinese Communist Party believes in selective history. So let's look back at some of the selections of Chinese history. Let's go back to the 10th anniversary, 1959. It was presided over by Mao Zedong, just after the purge of the Chinese Minister of Defense, Wen Dawei, who had the effrontery to criticize Mao's agricultural policy, which was proved right in the following 3 years when millions and millions of Chinese farmers, peasants mostly, died of starvation, which were called at that time natural disasters. They were actually man-made disasters because of the Chinese Communist Party's policies. There has been no real accounting of that period. In other words, there are estimates that as many as 36 million people died. The Chinese Communist Party doesn't really recognize, they know the number, but they won't recognize it. 20th anniversary, 1969, Mao was still in charge. It was the third year of the Cultural Revolution, celebrating the purge of Mao's chosen successor, Liu Shaoqi, and many of his colleagues, including Deng Xiaoping. They had just held the 9th Congress of the Chinese Communist Party, at which they recognized Lin Biao as Mao's chosen successor, the great, the number 2 to the great leader. Lin Biao died 2 years later in a plane crash trying to escape from Mao. Not much has been written about that. The full story has never really been told, and history awaits a final accounting of whatever happened to Lin Biao. 1979, 30th anniversary. Hua Guofeng in charge. With you in charge, I'm at ease. Mao had been dead for 3 years, but most of his policies and practices were still intact. The party was celebrating the purge of his wife and her 4 leftist cronies, the Gang of 4, and coming to grips with the Cultural Revolution, which was finally declared to be over. But nobody really wanted to look at how much damage had been done. They were contemplating a review of Chinese history, but it didn't really happen. 1989, 40th anniversary of the founding of the People's Republic of China. Jiang Zemin was in charge because this was just after the Tiananmen massacre, which has since been erased from Chinese history. Zhao Ziyang, who should have been in charge of that ceremony, was also erased from Chinese history, along with a number of other people. 50th anniversary, 1999. Jiang Zemin still in charge. PRC was gaining a certain degree of international acceptance, joining the WTO. Deng Xiaoping was dead after helping purge the man who had helped him organize and carry out the Tiananmen massacre, Yang Shenghen. They had celebrated, I'm getting ahead of myself. So China was recovering its international reputation, but it was still a long way to go. 60th anniversary, 2009. Hu Jintao was in charge. But by then he was already considered a weakless and fairly ineffective leader. International financial crisis has hit and did a lot of damage to China, causing China to turn on its reforms and begin to undo them, going back to some of the old kinds of state-owned enterprise dominated industrial system, rather than continuing with reform and opening. They had the Olympics, which was a great celebration, but not much else was happening within China that was of any particular memorability. So the question that I ask myself as we now look at the 70th anniversary is, why is it so hard to write about the Communist Party's history and the People's Republic of China's history? And I'll give you a very quick answer because I know I'm going over my time. History in China is very much like propaganda. Now, propaganda, as we know, is words that are used to convince somebody of something that they might not otherwise believe. In other words, you could call it a lie. History in China is in many ways bent and shaped and twisted and negotiated and talked about so that it becomes an element of the party's control. So if you have control of history, you have control of the future. History depends on facts. Propaganda does not. Propaganda depends on disinformation. How does the Chinese Communist Party do this? With an extensive apparatus that is designed to make sure that real facts don't come out and get known. You start off, if, for example, somebody like me who's doing a bragga history of a particular Chinese general secretary. Now, I don't have to go through the Chinese system, and I'm fortunate in that because otherwise this work would never get done. You'd have to go through your danwei, your work unit. Then you have to see if you can get access to the necessary archives or the individuals who might have some information that you use. You then have to write, which takes a long time, as I've discovered. You then have to have somebody edit your work to make sure that you aren't making any political mistakes. You then have to have that edited version reviewed by a party committee to make sure that you aren't insulting the party. You then have to get permission to publish it. In China, even members of the Communist Party cannot get the Communist Party to publish their work because it has some certain accuracies that need to be dealt with. Then you have to get it printed. And of course, that is also problematic, and you have to make sure that you make your arrangements properly, and then of course you're going to have to get it circulated. Now, at any point in that process, the Chinese Communist Party can and does interrupt it if they don't like what you're doing. Hong Kong used to be the place where many people would go to get their books published because Hong Kong didn't exercise all those interruptions in the publications process. Now Hong Kong is being strangled. The publications business in Hong Kong is being badly damaged by the takeover by the Chinese Communist Party. So many historians, aside from myself, in China, good, honest Communist Party members are very frustrated about what's happening to the historical process in China because they can't get the information, they can't write the books, can't get them published. So what to do? Well, all good things come to those who wait. And my fearless prediction is that in 10 years, what Xi Jinping says today will probably be forgotten. Xi Jinping himself may be forgotten, I don't know. There's no way to tell. But all of the previous 10-year periods, after the speeches had been given and the words had been spoken, within a matter of a couple of years, they were no longer true. Because in many cases, they weren't true in the first place. So, what I'm saying is, we mark the 70th anniversary of the People's Republic of China. We don't celebrate it because we don't know if there's going to be another one of these 10-year celebrations to hold.
Thank you, Bob. He's a great, I know him personally, he's a great scholar and expert who on history, especially the Chinese history. And so I just want to give a brief, 我就很快的翻译一下他的讲话哈，就是主要就是他这讲话是可以说今天最重要的总结了这个中共的70年历史，所以我一直想几分钟内你怎么总结？我觉得他总结很出色。I was wondering how you summarize the 70 years of history in few minutes. You did an excellent job. 他就说今天习近平正在进行这个中华人民共和国成立70周年的庆祝。那么有很多的什么这个各种各样的活动，还要放7万只鸽子，电视，还有什么要什么中华民族的什么再生，又有这样那样的这个东西，有这么多的钱，这么强大的军队，如何，这一切都象征着权力。但是呢，他已经跑到这个毛泽东纪念堂去纪念了他，这就是因为没有毛泽东的话，也就没有所谓的新中国了。在这150年这个过去中，这个中国呢，一直中共这个就是说，在过去这个中共呢，一直是这个就把中共就把他自己描写成这个重振中华的这个巨大的这个领袖，并且以此影响到这个全球。 然后他说但是你可以去想想，是怎么样以历史的角度来看这个中共。而习近平呢，这几年的话，他作为这个头子是怎么样的关注，该是予以什么样的关注？他说，事实上呢，他说这个回顾一下呢，就说这中共啊有各种各样的这个历史，他就提了胡锦涛啊、江泽民啊，没有赵紫阳，但是呢也没有胡耀邦或者华国锋，也许呢会有更多的邓小平、毛泽东，但是呢他们呢这个东西呢都是有限制的，因为中共的历史是一个被选择的历史。那么他就回顾，他说，我们回顾一下，在1959年中华人民共和国成立10周年的时候，那是有什么样的？那当时彭德怀呢，因为批评这个毛泽东的这个农业政策而被扫除出去了。因为当时所谓的这个3年自然灾害，也就是一个人害呀、人造的这个灾难由大跃进所造成的灾难。他说到现在呢，我们还不知道准确的在那段时间死了多少人，有的人是说3600万，大多数呢都是这个农民事实上呢，他们都是饿死的，是非正常的死亡。那么我们再回顾一下1969年中华人民共和国成立20周年的时候，当时正好是文革已经进行了3周年，他们呢很高兴的说庆祝毛泽东的这个对手刘少奇被清除出去召开了第9个中共9大并且呢任命林彪为毛泽东的这个继承人也就是这个情况。到79年第30周年的时候，毛已经死了3年了，但是他的许多的政策和他的这个实践仍然没有变化。他们呢就那会儿呢却是庆祝把他的老婆和那些所谓左派4人帮给清除出队伍。因此呢来理解对文化大革命进行理解，以及对中国的造成的危害。这是这个现代的所谓这个中国共产党的历史。到了1989年40周年的时候，正好是60大屠杀之后，那么在那里呢，这个整段历史已经被从中华人民共和国的历史上给驱逐出去了，而赵紫阳和其他那些人也一样的被从历史中被抹去了。到99年50周年的时候，中华人民共和国似乎得到了一定的这个国际的这个接受，他们参加了 WTO 世贸组织。邓小平死了，然后呢，他们也帮助这个因为邓小平是把这个赵紫阳给踢出领导层的，并且这个进行了指挥了这个天安门屠杀的这么一个人。那么到2009年60周年的时候，那个胡锦涛现在在做事，等于是当政那么现在很多人呢就是认为他是一个比较弱主当时呢这个国际的金融危机呢正好也影响到了中国，但是呢他多少还算是通过古老的经济方法呢能够恢复了，而且呢并得以更多的这个所谓改革和开放。那么他说，那么现在呢下面的共产党的历史会怎么写呢？他就说，事实上这个共产党的历史他说很有意思。所谓历史呢是一个真实的东西，而这个共产党呢，事实上就像回应魏先生刚刚说的，共产党呢的历史呢，它是靠欺骗。那么这个历史这个真相和欺骗，他们之间是有矛盾的。那么他就谈了一些这方面的东西。他作为一个，事实上我认为 Bob 是一个非常学者型的人物，他做事情非常认真。他在比方说像胡耀邦诸如此类问题上的了解，那世界上没有几个人可以跟他比的对中共的了解也没有比。我想说一下，做一个评论，他这篇东西有一个很有意思的部分，就是事实上他说为什么有的人名字所谓历史留下来了，甚至 被美化的更好，而有的人就压根儿像赵子阳、胡耀邦等于完全消失了。其实他所说的这70年的中共的历史，我的理解就是中共的内斗的历史。他不仅对外压迫中国人民，他事实上连自己的同胞，连自己中华人民共和国主席刘少奇，他都能被迫害致死。你说在这么一个国家，又有什么人权可以对小老百姓来说有什么人权和民主和自由可言？所以我觉得 Bob 这个总结是非常出色的，非常谢谢 Bob。I think that Bob you had an excellent summary of that. Thank you. Our next speaker will be 顾琼才。